after recovering from an injury and we go back to playing, do you advise, because I know there's some players that will play the whole game or match, do you kind of advise us not to do that, but to limit our time on the pitch or the court?
You want to get your confidence measuring the intensity you're playing at. And I sometimes get people to score how they were performing. And I might say, well, I was doing about 8 out of 10, today. It wasn't 100%, it was 8 out of 10. And then we get them to score, for example, when the pain came in, at what stage during their play. Yeah, so in the beginning, it might be you've been playing 25 minutes and that's when it begins. You might measure that during the next 5 minutes, it actually gets better again and goes away, or escalates and keeps climbing. And if it starts to keep climbing at that point, but it takes 25 minutes, say, to come on in this example, that tells me there's a fatigue component to this coming in. Yeah. Whereas if it comes on much earlier, let's say after a minute or 5 minutes, that means quite different things about the way your body's working. So there are some questions to ask to work out. So I have to work with someone to say, well, how's the training going? We break all that down in the questions when we see them again, and actually work out from that what maybe the likelihood is of going back more strongly into things, or they need to backstep a little bit and let's review the training or the rehab. That's the method. So you're not left sort of throwing yourself in the deep end. You're
Which is what we tend to do.
Well, I think going in the deep end, can be a very risky way of doing things. But I know when teams are demanding and you need to be in there, I get it. But, there is a point where you need to look carefully at that supporting way of going back into things, so you're not actually doing it completely blind. That could be dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. I was watching this movie or episodes called The Last Dance, and it's about Michael Jordan and when he was playing in the 90s and he hurt himself, and the team literally said, every game you've got to play about, I think it was 14 or 7 minutes, I can't remember which one, and even though he felt fine, the team was like, no, you're still got to wait, you have to wait. So that's why I kind of asked that, because it's either we're very limited or we're just thrown into the deep end. But yeah, you've answered that.
There is a bit of less deep water and there's not sitting out. Yeah, there's a bit of work to be done in the middle that's constructive, not just waiting, because waiting and doing nothing is not actually productive at all. It's losing your fitness and it's not moving forwards, and you're not learning anything more about the injury.
Exactly.
So my sort of way of thinking is this kind of coached process through and supporting process in recovery is really important to have those touch points to come back to. And that's the kind of thing we try and offer with people. We're trying to offer, people from the program you've been on as well, because I think that's the missing gap sometimes for many people.